May this commencement ceremony be memorable for all of you here. And God bless the class of 2014. Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rowan University Provost, Dr. Jim Newell.
Good morning. On this commencement day, it is my honor to introduce our special guests, their families, and their friends. Virtually everyone we welcome has a strong tie to Rowan University and has been instrumental in supporting our students. They recognize that this is a place of academic excellence, a home to cutting-edge research, and a critical part of the South Jersey community. They recognize that this is an institution committed to the hallmarks of academia. Here we respect freedom of thought and freedom of expression. We encourage vigorous debate on the issues of the day in our classrooms, and we strive to honor each other. That is no more important than today, when we celebrate the graduation of 2,500 students. Today, may our guests agree with what we know to be true, that Rowan University, all of our homes, is truly exceptional. And so, at this exceptional place on this milestone morning, it is my pleasure to introduce our special guests. Please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. From the Board of Trustees, Ms. Linda Rohr, Chairman, Ms. Lita Abel, Ms. Brenda Bacon, Mr. Chad Bruner, Mr. Fred Graziano, Ms. Jessica Healy, Mr. Julio Interiano, Mr. James Kehoe, Mr. George Loesch, Mr. Nick Petroni, Mr. Robert Posnick, Ms. Helene Reed, Mr. Larry Salva, Ms. Virginia Smith, Dr. Ali Houshmand, President, Governor Chris Christie, Senate President Steve Sweeney, Senator Donald Norcross, Senator James Beach, Secretary of Higher Education Rochelle Hendricks, our New Jersey legislative guests, Assemblywoman Gabriela Mosquera and Celeste Riley, Assemblymen Paul Moriarty, Gilbert Wilson, and Angel Fuentes, Gloucester County freeholders, Ms. Heather Simmons and Mr. Daniel Christie, mayors, Dr. Leo McCabe, Ms. Dana Reed, and Mr. Louis Monzo, distinguished guests, Mr. Henry Rowan and Dr. Barbara Chamberlain, Ms. Serbi Pothak, Student Government Association President, Dr. Donald Farnelli, Grand Marshal, Jack Collins, former Speaker of the New Jersey Assembly and Chairman of the Rowan University Rutgers-Camden Board of Governors and member of the class of 1964. Mr. Paul Tully, Rowan University Foundation Board Chair. Ms. Lisa Marina, South Jersey Tech Park Chair. Mr. Bill Moen, Assistant Director for Constituent Services for Senator Cory Booker. Mr. Bill Friend, Rowan Senate President. Ms. Denise Williams, CWA President. Joe Basso, AFT President. Mr. David Bergen, Rowan Alumni Board President. Mr. Michael Carbone, our distinguished alumnus. Mr. Joe Devine, President and CEO of Kennedy Health Systems. Mr. John Sheridan, President and CEO, Cooper Health Systems. Dr. Adrian Kirby, President and CEO, Cooper Health Systems. President Frederick Keating, President of Gloucester County College. President Thomas Sikanegbe, President of Cumberland County College. Mr. Grant Walensky, Associate Dean from Atlantic Cape County College. Mr. Lawrence Nespoli, the President of the New Jersey Council of Colleges. Mr. Michael Klein from the New Jersey Association of Colleges, and members of cabinet, deans, and other senior members of the administration. Today we are missing one very special guest, however, Dr. Mark Chamberlain. Dr. Chamberlain was the fourth president of our university, serving from 1969 to 1989. He retired in 2000 as a distinguished professor in Rowan's Department of Chemistry and Physics. He was truly a wonderful leader and a wonderful person. He was committed to our school, which he led during times of great turbulence in our country and great growth on our campus. He was also committed to the community, which he served as a volunteer firefighter in Glassboro and in many other roles. Dr. Chamberlain passed away this spring. While we deeply miss him, we are most happy to have with us today his widow, Dr. Barbara Chamberlain, also a longtime supporter of Rowan University. Please join me in a moment of silence to honor Dr. Chamberlain. Thank you. Last but not least, there are two very important constituents that must be recognized as well. The parents, brothers, sisters, spouses, and loved ones who have provided support and resources during the past several years. Students, please rise and face the people most important in your life and applaud them as you stand here ready to graduate. Secondly, please also recognize your Rowan faculty, the faculty, staff, and administrators who share so much pride in your success today. Please be seated.
Good morning. Graduates, you have one more lesson to learn today. If you take nothing else home with you today, please learn that Mother Nature rules. What a proud day today is for all of you and all of us. This is the day all of you have been working toward for years. My name is Linda Rohr. I am chairman of the Rowan University Board of Trustees. I have the honor of congratulating the class of 2014 on its commencement day. And I have the added honor of welcoming family members and friends to Rowan University on behalf of the board, administrators, faculty, and staff. I must take a moment to recognize a very special guest, Mr. Henry Rowan. Mr. Rowan, all of us owe our ongoing thanks for all you have done for our university, for your university. Thank you. No doubt, all of you have heard of Goldilocks' 3 furry friends. 3 Dog Night, 3 Coins in a Fountain, Snap, Crackle, and Pop, and of course, Red, White, and Blue. A lot of things come in threes. Today, we have with us and honor 3 gentlemen who I like to think of as New Jersey's 3 Musketeers. Leaders who have been instrumental in supporting Rowan University and propelling it to the amazing institution it is today. In true Musketeer one-for-all fashion, these 3 men crossed party lines and brought their colleagues with them to enact legislation that is pivotal to the future of Rowan, for higher education, for health care, for our region, and for the entire state. And they chose Rowan to play a central role in that future. Gentlemen, We are grateful to you for so much. Because of your belief in our university and your commitment to all of New Jersey, today Rowan is a state research institution. Rowan is the home of 2 medical schools. Rowan is partnering with Rutgers-Camden on degree programs in life sciences. Rowan is growing, adding buildings, programs, and students. Rowan is evolving into the strongest of regional institutions, into one that is nationally recognized. We owe a sincere thank you to New Jersey's Governor Christie, Senate President Steve Sweeney, and Senator Donald Norcross, our own 3 Musketeers. I'm sure you've been called worse. It's not in my script and everybody knows it, but that's okay. Class of 2014, you have attended Rowan in the thick of so many of these changes. You have witnessed our metamorphosis like no other class of students before you. But I wanted to tell you something else. All of those opportunities, all of those accolades the university receives, all of the headlines we get, they really all come down to what is happening here right now. Work so diligently, and their parents who have made sacrifices so their children could have a better education. This is an immensely proud moment for all of us, especially you students who are graduating today. Today, you leave with your undergraduate degree. I want you to keep exploring, keep learning. Take on the world, challenge yourself. Life is like a merry-go-round. It has ups and downs. And keep reaching for that brass ring. We have an outstanding legacy here at Rowan, one of providing a first-class undergraduate education that shows students the world and prepares them to lead. This is what you are about to do. Graduates of the class of 2014, on behalf of the board, the administration, professors, and staff, I offer you the most sincere congratulations and wish you the very, very best. Keep in touch with your alma mater and remember to return to the university some of what we have given you. Congratulations and thank you.
Good morning. Oh, that's much better than yesterday. I am Ali Houshmand, President of Rowan University, and I have the pleasure of addressing all of you on this important day. Before I share with you my remarks, I would like to take a moment to welcome those alumni who are being honored today and who are in Speen Hall enjoying the ceremony remotely. Starting with celebrating its 50th anniversary is the class of 1964. By the way, this is the class that when they started on that day, there was a hurricane, and today, when they are here to celebrate the 50 years, there is massive rain. Jack, thank you for all you have done for us. Your immense energy brings rains and hurricanes and snow to this place every time you show up. Celebrating the 60th anniversary is the class of 1954. Let's give those outstanding alumni a warm round of applause. Class of 2014, I hope you recognize just how special today is. Today is about more than an end to exams, more than snapping photos with the statue of Henry Rowan in front of Savitz Hall, even about more than the last 4 or so years you spent in classroom and labs and recital halls. Today is about possibilities. Today is about every dream you have. It is about every dream your parents and others had for you since the day you added 1 + 1 and got 2. By the way, I have a trick. I can make it 3, 4, 5, whatever you want. Today is about your future. In all your eagerness to be done, here is what you may be overlooking. When you leave Rowan University with that brand new bachelor's degree, you leave with a chance to start a profession, not simply a job. You leave armed with an education that will enable you to earn more than $1 million more during your lifetime than a high school diploma would. You leave primed to be a leader in your business, in military, in nonprofit, or in other communities. You leave with more knowledge than you came to us with more experience that you might have dreamed of. You leave with a piece of paper that indicates you have set and achieved a goal. With recollection of the time and sweat and tears you put into earning that piece of paper. I know this from experience. Some of you may have heard my story, but some of you have not. I will try to keep it short, but there are things that I would like to share with you today. I share because my story speaks to you about education and opportunities. I share because as I look at you, I am overwhelmed to what you have achieved and what you no doubt will achieve. I was born in Iran in 1954 to parents who were completely uneducated. They couldn't even sign their names. They had 10 children. We were destitute. There were many, many nights that I went to bed hungry. There were many, many days that I walked in the streets with bare feet. I remember playing soccer in dirt and blood dripping from my toes. We had a very, very difficult time. But I had a pair of parents who were absolutely determined to make sure that despite all the negativities that we were facing, that we all get educated. And boy, we all did, every single one of us. When I was 20 and finished my high school, I had a choice of going to a military service or leaving home, going abroad. And I didn't want to do military service, so with the help of two brothers, and they gave me $70, equivalent to $70 at that time was 50 British pounds. In my pocket, I landed in Heathrow Airport. Believe it or not, couldn't speak a word of English. The person in the airport who interviewed me, I couldn't understand. Somebody helped me to interpret, and they found out why I was there. I ended up boarding in a very educated family who were educated in Oxford and Cambridge, and live in their home and went to school. I remember I used to pay them 10 pounds a week for room and board that included breakfast with cereal and one boiled egg and a piece of toast and a dinner. I would save the piece of toast and the egg, and I would run back home and eat that for lunch. I started then working in Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I became damn good at it. I used to fry 70 whole chickens in 3 years. So Linda, if you have any intention of firing me, I can do things. I can take care of myself. I finished my baccalaureate degree with high honors and a master's degree in mathematics at the University of Essex. And in 1983, I came to this great country. But before I did, I went to my academic advisor in UK, and I said, Dr. Winston, I would like to go abroad. Where do you think I should go? I wanted to study a branch of statistics. And he said, the best place you can go is East, India. I said, I really want to go West. Then he said, well, there is this place where people all carry guns and they shoot at each other, but the university ain't bad. And he was referring to University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. And 3 months later, I landed in University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. Let me tell you, it's my heart, it's my love, and it's my home, and it's the center of the world. And that's where my daughter is now finishing her PhD. So somehow my advisor at that time was very, very wrong. But all of these things I tell you is because it's all about the possibilities. I don't know whether all of the kids of today in this university and in this country is indeed really recognize how precious it is for them to be American, how amazing it is to be in this country, to be born in this country, to be educated in this country, and to carry the passport of this country. I wish every single one of you will have a chance to go and spend a month or two in a third world country and come back, and then you will kiss the ground. I promise you that. And so I say that to you, I told my story so that you understand about the possibilities, about what it is that you can achieve. Because you are in a country where no matter who you are, how tall or small, how wealthy or poor, how good looking or not, whatever the color, whatever the orientation, whatever the religion, whatever the national origin, you come in here, roll up your sleeve, work hard, follow the rule, respect the country, respect the Constitution, sky is the limit. I believe that sincerely, and I hope you do as well. So today, the most important thing that I can say to you is that you too can be an example of education being the greater equalizer. Because truly I believe, in this country especially, the greatest equalizer for any individual is education. Some of you come from difficult backgrounds. Some of you are the first or in your family to finish college. Some of you had to work to put yourself through school. Right now you, just your classmates who may have been driven a fancy car like BMW to campus, or whose parents are doctors and lawyers, have a world of opportunities before you, just like them do. You also have some decisions to make. I would be lying to you if I say the degree you earn today is going to make all the difference. Make no mistake, there is more you will need to bring to the table in your career and in your life to generate, in general, including drive and ambition, a strong work ethic, communication skills, empathy. You have the education, you have the degree, and you have the opportunity, and you live in the United States of America. You have every reason to be a success and every chance to make a difference. I wish you great success, however you define it. I trust you will make a difference in this world. And I congratulate you on what you have accomplished here at Rowan University. Thank you for being here, especially thank you to the parents who trusted your sons and daughters with us, and I hope that we are returning to them as successful taxpayers. Thank you. So enough of me, let's talk about our wonderful governor. He has made national news probably as often as state news. He has been praised and chastised. He has sung with Jimmy Fallon and been spoofed on Saturday Night Live, which, by the way, is the ultimate compliment. Even the boss knows Governor Christie. They have been together more than 100 times. I wish I was with him just once. In many ways, to many people, he personifies Jersey, not New Jersey, but Jersey. He's bold, direct, straightforward, and a no-nonsense leader. He moves fast and seems to be everywhere. It is my pleasure and distinct honor to have our 2014 commencement speaker, the Honorable Christie, with us today. Governor, thank you for honoring us, and especially our graduating students today. Some voices will be loud and maybe persistent in voicing criticism of decisions he has made or policies he has pursued. I have learned in my job, and boy, have I learned in my job, that no matter how hard I work, no matter how hard I try to do the right thing and be the best, to do the best thing for this university that I love, that there will always be people who are absolutely convinced I'm wrong. I do not begrudge my critics for their views. I admire them for their commitment. We just disagree. But they do inspire me to work even harder. And I know that to be true of the governor as well. No one works harder than him, no one cares more about New Jersey than him, and no one has accomplished more than him. We here at Rowan certainly have seen the changes the governor has brought about in higher education in the last few years. Governor Christie has been instrumental in state initiatives that are transforming our state, our region, and our campus. I trust most of you at Rowan are familiar with some of those initiatives. Perhaps some of our guests are not. In partnering with Senator Sweeney and Senator Norcross, Governor Christie signed into law the New Jersey Medical and Health Science Education Restructuring Act. The Restructuring Act changed higher education in our state. The governor and legislatures on both sides of the aisle accomplished in 2012 what other elected officials had talked about for decades. For Rowan, the Restructuring Act means gaining research institution status. It integrated the School of Osteopathic Medicine in Stratford with us. We are exceptionally proud that when SOM joined us, and our Cooper Medical School of Rowan University, we became just the second university in the nation with both MD and DO program, the other one being Michigan State. The Restructuring Act also partnered us with Rutgers-Camden to create more health sciences degrees. Governor Christie also was a force behind the Building Our Future Bond Act. The Bond Act awarded $117 million to Rowan. A large chunk of the funding will be used to construct new buildings for the College of Engineering and the Rowan College of Business. These buildings will open the doors to more students earning degrees in high-demand fields. We are grateful that these initiatives benefited Rowan, of course, but they also benefited our entire state. They are improving higher education, health, business, and the economy from Cape May County to Bergen County, from the shore to Delaware River. Governor Christie has achieved all of this because of one thing: vision. To all who graduate here today, remember this. It is vision that distinguishes the leader. It is vision that inspires others. It's vision that leads to great things. At a time when higher education is under attack and in turmoil, our nation looks to our state as a model of how higher education can be reimagined and restructured to provide greater access to by far greater number to an affordable degree that leads to a higher quality of life. And in large part, we and others have our governor to thank. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our governor, Chris Christie.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. President, thank you very much, and members of the board and faculty, distinguished guests, the graduates and your family, thank you very much for your warm welcome. As I come up here today, I am reminded of what my son, who's now a sophomore in college, pleaded with me when I was invited to be the commencement speaker at his high school graduation. He said, "Please be short and don't embarrass me." I think that that's probably a good guide for any commencement speech. Be short and don't embarrass anybody. That's my goal today. It's the end of your hard work in college, and you're being acknowledged for that today by us and by your families. As the president said, education can be a great equalizer. It can make opportunity possible for you, no matter where you're from, no matter where your family is from, no matter where you began economically. It can make a difference in your life. It can open doors. It's also a responsibility. It's a gift that you've been given that gives you a responsibility to use it in a way that helps not just to better your own lives and the lives of your family, but I think to better the lives of the places you choose to live over the course of your life. But it's not a guarantee of anything. You know, we've seen many people over the course of our country's history, some with extraordinary education, who didn't use it in a way that bettered their lives or the lives of others. And we've seen others with little or no education who have changed our country's history completely. So today, what you are receiving in that opportunity is something that sets the stage, gives you the moment now to decide what your life will be. I believe, in the end, what will determine your success or your failure will be how hard you're willing to work. In the end, I think that's the determining factor in most success or failure in life, is how you get yourself out of bed every morning, what you see when you look in the mirror, and then what you're willing to do once you walk out the door. Are you willing to give it your all? And if you do, will you really then make a difference in your life and the lives of others? I could cite lots of examples for you of why how hard you work will be the determining factor. I'm sure you already have many examples of those in your life. I'll give you the example of one person. This was a person who came to the United States on a boat from Sicily, who was actually born on that boat between Sicily and the United States. Person who came here, young woman, growing up in Newark, New Jersey, who, because of the circumstances and the way our society and her culture operated at that time, at a very young age, was put into an arranged marriage, something that we can't even conceive of today. Her parents selected her husband for her based on their appreciation for the family he came from. So she entered that arranged marriage and soon had 3 children. But by the time her first daughter turned 10 years old in 1942, she became aware of the fact that her husband was being unfaithful. Now, at that time, in that culture, that was something that women were expected to accept. But this woman had absolutely no intention of accepting that. In fact, she did the exact opposite. She kicked him out of the house and filed for divorce in 1942. This was simply not done back then very often. She was 33 years old. She had no education at all past middle school. And she now had 3 children to raise on her own because the family that she had been arranged into said it was a disgrace that she filed for divorce, and there were no laws at that time forcing them or her husband to support her and their children. And so what did she do? She went out and she looked for a job. And she got a job at the Internal Revenue Service in Bloomfield, New Jersey. She didn't know how to drive, didn't have a driver's license, couldn't afford to buy a car. So she took 3 buses every morning beginning at 6 a.m. to arrive at work by 8 a.m. Her 10-year-old daughter was in charge of her 7-year-old sister and her 4-year-old brother to make sure they got to school and daycare with lunches, and then pick them up after school because this woman wouldn't arrive home until 7 p.m. Every year at Christmas, they rewrapped the gift they had gotten the year before. And that's what they were given for Christmas because they had no money. Many nights, they went to bed hungry, but no nights did they go to bed alone. They had each other. This woman worked without a support system except for her own belief in herself, and her own belief in the fact that her pride, her independence, and her knowledge of who she saw in the mirror was more important than anything else, and she worked for the rest of her life to do that. That woman became my grandmother. And as I grew up, I became closer to her than I was to any person in the world. I went to visit her 2 weekends a month and stay at her apartment. And there were a number of rules that went along with that. On Saturday mornings when I would leave my home and go to hers, the first thing we'd do is walk to the library, where she would return the 3 books she had borrowed the Saturday before, having read all 3 of them, and get 3 new ones. And I would have to get 1 for myself. I wasn't allowed to watch television except for 2 things, and this has led to 2 of my great obsessions in life, I guess. I was allowed to watch 1 college football game on Saturday afternoon, and I was allowed to watch Meet the Press on Sunday. At 8 years old. She taught me that your life is not determined by what you don't have, but what you are willing to do. She never remarried, yet she had a full life. She worked all these years at a government job, yet found ways to save money where she traveled the world. We used to travel once a month into New York City, and she would take me to things I had absolutely no interest in. We'd go to museums that I was bored by. She took me to the opera. Imagine me at the opera. Even then, it seemed incredible. We went to Mass every Sunday morning, and she continued to remind me about just what the President said, how lucky I was to have the opportunities that she saw in front of me. Every week, until I turned about 15, I thought about going, and every other week I did. And the things that I learned from her, most importantly, was that her life was full, despite all of its challenges, because of the experiences she had and how hard she worked to get those experiences. You wouldn't have looked at her and had thought that she would have had a successful life given where she began. But she lived to the age of 92, and she saw her grandson appointed U.S. Attorney for New Jersey weeks before she passed away. And I remember sitting with her as she was suffering and getting ready to pass, just as I'd been appointed by the President of the United States to be United States Attorney. And she said to me, "Can you imagine how I feel that my grandson, I was born on a boat coming over here, no education, nothing but my own hard work and what I was able to create for myself through the grace of this country, and now you're being appointed to something by the President of the United States." She looked at me and said, "My life is full. Her life was full because her hard work was an example both to me and to everyone she came in contact with. She never complained about the challenges, and she always talked about the opportunities. It's a great lesson for all of us who have been given so much more than that. We tend these days to focus on the negative. We tend to complain about what we don't have or what hasn't been provided to us. We daydream about all the things that we might be without often thinking about how available it is to us because of the things we've already been given. I learned from my grandmother. She laid that foundation for me. And she taught me that hard work is the key to every success in your life. Whether it's hard work at your career, hard work at your studies, hard work at your marriage, hard work as a parent. There is joy in hard work. You have a leg up that you've earned today. And that leg up is the education that you've gotten here at Rowan. And now it truly is up to you. And because of the education you have, no one will presume that there are any limits to your life. You will determine, and you alone will determine the limits to your life. And I believe it'll be only determined by your willingness to dream, and most importantly, how hard you're willing to work to get there. In the year that would have been my grandmother's 100th birthday, I was elected governor of New Jersey. And I thought often during that campaign, her birthday was September 10th, and I thought often from that day forward to Election Day, how amazed she would have been to see what was happening and what might happen. And the day after the election, one of the places that I went to visit was her burial site. I went there just as a sign of respect, to let her know that I understood that I would not have been there without the example she set for me. I'm not unique. I'm sure for almost every person in this audience, you have someone like my grandmother in your life. Don't believe that the only people who can set examples for you and help you to get where you want to get to are the obvious choices. Sometimes they are the people with the greatest challenges, who've worked hard, achieved much in their own personal lives, but set an example for you for everything that you could be, even if what you will achieve in material gain and public notoriety will be well beyond anything they achieved in their lives, or quite frankly, anything they probably could have dreamed was realistic for you. I know today that my grandmother looks down and shakes her head, often probably, at some of the things that come out of my mouth and at some of the extraordinary opportunities that life has already presented to me. All of you, I hope both in your heart and in your spirit, understand that today is just the opening of that door to extraordinary opportunity. And I hope that you know that the people here with you today, myself included, believe in the infinite possibilities for what you can make your life become over the course of the next decades. Believe in yourself as much as those around you believe in you. Work as hard as you can. And because of everything else you've achieved here, I believe you too will experience a great American life, just like my grandmother did, just like I have. Although very different, they're both great American lives, and you will will now write your story. Write it with hard work. Write it with belief in yourself. Write it with the knowledge that every morning when you get up, you have the possibility to do something really, really special. Do that. And then at the end of your life, I think you'll feel the same way that my grandmother felt about hers. My life is full. Thank you all very much.
At commencement ceremonies across the country this month, speakers are telling graduates that they can make a difference. That's true. For some, it will be a dramatic difference. For some, it will be small. You may save a life, you may develop a new food source, you may console a child. At Rowan University, we have a long-standing tradition of awarding honorary degrees to exceptional individuals who have made a profound difference. Today, we honor 3 such people. There are leaders who have greatly impacted New Jersey, our region, higher education, and Rowan University. Governor Christie, Senate President Stephen Sweeney, and Senator Donald Norcross. You no doubt have heard or read about their many initiatives, including the New Jersey Medical and Health Science Education Restructuring Act and the Building Our Future Bond Act. These 2 acts will impact the Garden State for generations. With these acts, the governor and senators made major differences, and I dare say they have secured their legacies. But there is more at play here. There is a larger picture. We live not just in a competitive state, but in a competitive nation, in a turbulent world. We label people left and right, pro and anti, conservative and liberal. Too often, we make decisions based on those labels without educating ourselves. Whether in Washington or in the Middle East, too often we are ready to shout rather than listen, ready to fight rather than seek common ground. But with us today, we have a solidly Republican, notably strong-willed governor who may suspect one day may run for the presidency. And we have 2 staunch Democratic senators who are just as sure they are right, who are not shy about pressing contrary views, opposing the governor, or even declaring his proposals dead on arrival. I've heard that before. They may not be enamored of each other's party. They probably disagree on more issues than they agree on, but they are united about one thing above perhaps all else: doing their very best each and every day for New Jersey and its citizens. With that as their common mission, they have worked to create a common vision. And when they have found a common vision, they have come together with remarkable energy, agreeing not only to collaborate, but also to use their position of leadership and their very best personal efforts to spur their colleagues to do so as well. They have accepted that sometimes, most times, they will not get 100% of what they want. They have recognized that meeting the other side halfway provides a better solution. They have reversed position when they had to. They have no doubt swallowed their pride on more than one occasion. They have learned that the true victory most often comes in compromise. While we award them with honorary Doctor of Law degrees today for their many concrete accomplishments, for efforts that they have improved higher education and healthcare and the economy in our state and the quality of life for so many of its people, we honor them more for the way they have achieved those accomplishments. Members of class of 2014, we offer these three leaders as example of individuals fully committed to service. In an era when partisan politics demand purity, Governor Christie and Senator Sweeney and Norcross have changed the future of this state by putting their differences aside, by walking across the divide, and by working together. None of us here today has to agree with any of them on all issues, or even most of them. But we should all agree that we can learn from them about the way each of us can make a profound difference in the lives of others by respecting differences, but by working together. Would Dr. Newell, Chairman Rowan, Governor Christie, Senator Sweeney, and Senator Norcross please join me at the podium? Chairman Rowan, it is my privilege and pleasure to recommend to you that the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws be awarded to Governor Chris Christie, Senate President Stephen Sweeney, and Senator Donald Norcross in recognition of their many accomplishments and their contribution to the state of New Jersey.
Mr. President, I am pleased to receive this recommendation. By the authority granted to me as chairman of the Rowan University Board of Trustees, today we honor ourselves as we bestow upon Governor Chris Christie, Senate President Steve Sweeney, and Senator Donald Norcross the honorary degrees of Doctor of Laws with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
We will now recognize the candidates for the bachelor's degree both here in this auditorium and across the campus. Dr. Newell, will you please certify the class of 2014 bachelor's degree candidates?
Will all Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of General Studies, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Science, and Bachelor of Science in Nursing candidates here and across campus please rise? That's all of you. Mr. President, the candidates whose name appears upon the printed program and who have successfully completed all of the requirements for the Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of General Studies, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Science, and Bachelor of Science in Nursing degrees are hereby certified by the faculty for the receipt of their degrees.
Chairman Rowan, These candidates have been certified as having completed all the requirements for graduation. I present them to you as proper recipients of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of General Studies, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Science, and Bachelor of Science in Nursing degrees.
Members of the class of 2014, whose names appear upon the printed program and who have been certified as having completed all the requirements for graduation by the authority invested in me as chairman of the Rowan University Board of Trustees, I confer upon you Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of General Studies, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Science, and Bachelor of Science in Nursing degrees with all the rights, privileges, responsibilities, and obligations appertaining thereto. Congratulations, class of 2014.
Congratulations again. You may be seated. Will Ms. Surhabi Pathak, President of the Student Government Association, please step forward.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Surhabi Pathak, and I have had the honor to serve as your Student Government Association president, which was a super exciting experience for me. And I have to tell you, speaking in front of all of you today is the greatest opportunity I have ever had, ever. There are over 10,000 people watching me right now. I have Rowan board members behind me, administrators, and a governor. So excuse me if I am a bit nervous. I'm pretty sure all of you are nervous today too. Through the years we've spent here, Rowan has become my home, our home, and now we're leaving. But we can't feel nervous. We're on the last chapter of our lives, and we are ready to begin the next one. First and foremost, Rowan was our school, the place we learned. We studied, practiced, recited to make the grades in our respective majors. The diplomas you will receive later today are testaments of that hard work. However, academics it wasn't the only thing that we learned on this campus. We learned that Hunan Wok basically never closes. We learned that you will literally wait all night for your food at Prof's place. We learned that the Mimosa Lab is open when you're trying to print something out for your 8 a.m. class because you forgot. But most importantly, we learned how to make friends. We learned how to love and have our hearts broken. We learned that the hands you shake are just as important as the classes you take. And I'm so glad I shook every hand I did. We learned that a simple smile from a stranger can go a long way. We learned that an embrace that lasts just a little bit longer than usual makes you feel loved and important. We learned that we can make a difference. I had the privilege of seeing the student life both as a student and as a leader. I saw the things that made me cry. I saw the things that made me laugh, that made me cheer. I witnessed the amazing things that we are all capable of. I could not be happier or prouder to know that the reins of the future rests in our capable hands. Our home will see a lot of changes in the next few years. We will come back and it's going to look completely different. But when you really think back to your clubs, your fraternities, your sororities, your friends, and every member of your Rowan family, it will always be the Rowan that you know and you love. Today, we leave as Rowan alumni. Continue to make our home proud. Congratulations, class of 2014. Will all bachelor's degree graduates please rise for the tossing of the tassel from right to left? Please join me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations. All bachelor's degree graduates, you may be seated. Thank you so much.
Well, this concludes the first portion of today's ceremony. Thank you for joining us on this most important day. The college ceremonies will now proceed. I must excuse myself so I may attend ceremonies across the campus. Congratulations, graduates.
At this time, it gives me great pleasure to recognize the graduates who have excelled in their academic studies while here at Rowan. These students are graduating today with honors and fall into 3 levels of achievement. Students graduating cum laude have achieved grade point averages of 3.45 to 3.64. Will those students who are graduating cum laude please stand to be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated. Students graduating magna cum laude have achieved grade point averages of 3.65 to 3.84. Will those students who are graduating magna cum laude please stand to be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated. Students graduating summa cum laude have achieved grade point averages of 3.85 to 4.0. Will those students who have achieved this distinction please stand to be recognized? Thank you. You may be seated. Congratulations on all of your achievements, and parents, you should be extremely proud. At this time, I would like to recognize our medallion winners, honors concentration graduates, and our Honor Society members. They are listed in the program and have been recognized at previous ceremonies. Will all of these graduates please stand? Thank you and congratulations on your achievements. You may be seated. Will Dean of Students Richard Jones please join me? Ladies and gentlemen, our university family was saddened to lose 3 students this past year. It is with a heavy heart that I award their diplomas. Please honor them with a moment of silence after I read their names. Matthew Hershak, Siddharth Melkoti, and Frank Orsic. Would the families of Matthew Hershak, Siddharth Melkoti, and Frank Orsic please join Dean Jones? Thank you for sharing your children with us. We celebrate their lives and achievements by awarding their degrees here today. Will Mr. Michael Carbone and Rowan University Alumni Association President, Mr. David Bergen, please come forward?
Ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing I can tell you about Michael Carbone, it's that you can bank on him. Our Distinguished Alumnus Award recipient for 2014 is a business leader and a civic leader. He is the type of person who takes charge in the boardroom and gives back to the community. He blazes trails into the future and remembers where he came from. Part of where he came from is right here. Michael graduated from Rowan with a degree in economics in 1985. He started his career in banking at First Fidelity Bank in 1986, and then moved to United Jersey Bank South to work as an assistant vice president, where he supported the region in numerous ways. Today, he is, well, let me stop here a second. If I ask you if you have any one of these, a green TD Bank pen, in your purse, in your portfolio, in your car or kitchen, you will understand where Michael is today. because we all have one of those borrowed green TD Bank pens. I can't say Michael is responsible for the devices you inadvertently walked away with, but his latest roles include Senior Vice President with TD Bank and Regional President for TD Bank's Metro PA New Jersey market. That covers Eastern Pennsylvania, Southern New Jersey, Coastal New Jersey, Central New Jersey. That's a lot of banks and a lot of pens. At TD, Michael oversees all retail and commercial bank services and profit centers, consumer and commercial lending, and government banking in his region. Prior to his current role, Michael was Senior Vice President and Market Manager for South Jersey and Delaware, and was instrumental in building the largest market share for any bank in South Jersey. Banking, however, does not solely define his life. The Camden native remembers his roots and remains dedicated to area charities. Michael is chairman of the board of the Committee of 70 and a member of the board of the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce, the Chamber's CEO Council for Growth, the executive board for Penn Cardiovascular Institute, and the regional board of United Way of Greater Philadelphia and South Jersey. Happily for Michael, Michael is a member of the Rowan College of Business Executive Advisory Council. Many organizations have honored him. The Camden County Red Cross presented Michael its 2011 Good Neighbor Award for his involvement with and support of the area's nonprofit community organizations. The Boys and Girls Club of Camden County named him 2010 Man of the Year. And the Walter Rand Institute named him an Honorary of the Year in 2009. Today, Rowan University is happy to add one more honor to a long list as we present Michael with the Distinguished Alumnus Award for 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Michael Carbone.
It's hard to believe that 30 years ago I would be standing up here. If you knew anything about me and my childhood and my life and my age, I'm very thankful to David and the entire 76,000 living alumni. It's hard to believe we have that many alumni. And we're so blessed, you're so blessed to be part of this Rowan community. I look back and I see a tremendous board of trustees with great leadership from Linda Rohr, the administration here led by Dr. Houshmand, who is making incredible impact, not only here at Rowan, but throughout the entire region, and bringing a profile to our university that's second to none. And for all of you, you heard great advice from the governor, tremendous, tremendous advice on working hard. There's a couple other things you need to do with it. You need to have a tremendous attitude, a positive attitude, a can-do attitude, an attitude that no matter what adversities you face and challenges you face, and believe me, you will face many adversities and challenges, but they're the things that are going to define your character more than anything else. Your success will not define your character. It's how you handle adversity and how you take those adversities and turn them into opportunities. And then when you turn those opportunities into a bigger thing, not only about yourself, but about more people, the recognition for you will be second to none. And you can only get that through hard work and having an attitude that no matter what you face, you will overcome it. I have been very, very lucky in my life. One, to get a degree here when the school was still called Glassboro State. That tells you how old I am. But I'm very proud as I had a chance to meet Mr. Rowan back in 1986 when I was a trainee at First Fidelity Bank. And I can remember I was asked to bring out loan documents to him, and I learned about being humble. He was one of the most powerful men in business, and here I am going to his house to get loan documents signed, and he was leaving the house with a brown paper bag in his hand with his lunch, getting in his pickup truck to go to work. I thought that was pretty cool, and it made me think about it. Doesn't matter what you have, it's what you do with it. And he made a great impact. And then he gave back. He gave back to this university in a big way, put us really on the map, and he continues to give back. And one of the things I learned is that no matter what successes you have in life, it's about giving back, whether it's in the community you work or the university you went to. So I continue to give back. And along the way, I've been blessed to have great things in my life. I have a tremendous wife who supported my crazy hours, Wendy. She's here today, and I'm proud that she's here. My son, who is a senior this year at Rowan University after we got him to transfer from one of them schools down south. And he's doing very well, much better grades than I ever got it in school. And along the way, I've been blessed to have great friends. Two of them are behind me. Bob Posnick, who got me in shape when I was kind of like a wild, crazy man and trying to work 80 hours a week and eating wrong and doing all that other stuff. And today, I still work out with him 3 days a week, and it's our 21st year working out. And then I'm blessed to have met a great colleague in Fred Graziano. Fred is a tremendous leader in our organization, and he continues to give back by serving on this board of trustees. And he's not only been a friend and a colleague, but a great mentor in my career. So my ask of you is to have a great attitude as you go forward and prosper in life. And don't forget, as you have successes and you build your integrity, and you'll take your whole life to build it and don't blow it in 5 seconds. Give back to the communities that you do work in, and give back to Rowan University. Thank you. I am truly honored to be up here. Thank you.
Congratulations to all. Shortly, we will start the recessional of our platform guests with a musical selection by the College of Performing Arts, Dean John Paston and our Wind Ensemble. We ask the audience to remain seated while the platform party leaves. We will then take a 15-minute intermission. Dr. Anthony Lohman, Dean of the College of Engineering, will preside over the rest of the ceremony. Thank you and congratulations once again.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon, I can go to space. With the earth, and I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Here comes bad news, talking this and that.